Memorial Hospital Nutrition Module, fats.
It's important to remember that fat is an essential nutrient, but the questions come in with what, type, and how much. And remember, when fat is removed, carbs or other ingredients are added. There are concerns with the degree of refinement, such as with oils. Should you have cold pressed? Is that still considered refined? And honestly, I don't think this debate will end anytime soon. So here are some examples of added fats. Things that you typically think of: oils, salad dressings, mayonnaise, sour cream, cream cheese, butter. It's a pretty long list.
So how much is a portion? Basically, a single portion is the number of fingers on your hand, which would be 5 grams. And this would range for most products from a teaspoon to 3 tablespoons. So as you can see from this label, 2 tablespoons of this light ranch dressing would have 7 grams of total fat, which would be a portion and a half. Now, there is some debate over regular versus light, and part of it is a personal preference, but do keep in mind, as a product is modified, there are usually more ingredients added. And later on in this presentation, we'll show you how you can make your own.
So again, single portions. A teaspoon of most oils, mayo, or butter. A couple teaspoons of a lot of nut butters. A tablespoon of salad dressing or cream cheese or light mayo. A couple tablespoons of sour cream or some of the light salad dressings, just depending, or avocado. 3 tablespoons of light sour cream. 8 to 10 olives. And bacon is actually considered a fat because it is a very fatty meat. 1 ounce of nuts and also 1 ounce of avocado.
So, debate. Can you really call cream fat-free cream? I know, it is a little hard for those of us who do like fat. So here's an example of heavy cream, half and half, and fat-free cream. But I want you to look at the ingredient list. And part of the debate with inflammation is, are some of these ingredients that are added to the modified versions of a food actually promoting inflammation in people because the body does not recognize the product? It is an interesting concept, and certainly there are a lot of people with IBS and other similar issues that, this may be very true for. So look over here at the heavy cream, 1 ingredient, organic pasteurized cream. Now when you go to half and half, it's not a huge difference. It's pasteurized milk with the organic cream, but it doesn't have to be organic. These were just the labels I could find. Now look over to the right at the fat-free cream, and again, fat-free milk, but the second ingredient is corn syrup. And then there's also carrageenan, which is a red seaweed. And again, we're not sure if this can promote problems in people that are sensitive. And here's another example of a modified product, coconut milk. And coconut milk has certainly gained in popularity here recently. So when you look at the original on the left, the ingredients are water and coconut. And to the right, the lightened up version does have guar gum added. So again, there are some concerns. People may have some sensitivities if they have a soy allergy or a guar gum actual sensitivity. So this is a soluble fiber that absorbs water to produce a gel. So you're able to take a thinner product and thicken it up and make it more like the original coconut milk that is more viscous because of the added fat. So added fat. The debate is always how much. And it's pretty obvious where the added fat is in all these products. You have cream on the left, then mayo, then your Caesar dressing, and then to the right, mayo again on the macaroni salad. For people who are wary of adding too much fat, I suggest using just enough. You don't want your food swimming, but you do want the fat in there that will make an impact. How much do you really need? And that is where you want to start and see if that helps with your satiety and helps with your satisfaction. Now, where are fats and carbohydrates? Generally, most carbohydrates don't naturally contain fat, it's added. So your grains, it's all in the processing or the cooking. Some of your cereals, such as granola, crackers, croissants, and then of course, prepared foods such as fried rice. Fruits don't contain fat, but it may be added. Something like banana or plantain chips are often fried. Now, dairy is one food that does contain fat naturally, just depending on if it's skim, low fat, or whole. Normally, potatoes don't contain fat. It's added when they're fried. And the same thing with a donut. The flour doesn't contain fat, but the processing method does. When chocolate is made, there's fat involved there. Your cakes, cookies, pies. And then, of course, everyone forgets that fat does need to be added and hydrogenated to create that coating on many of the energy bars that people consume. So where is the fat and protein? Proteins can vary from extremely lean to quite fatty. And on the left, you can see a man-made fat has been added, partially hydrogenated, to the protein bar. Then your cottage cheese will vary just like milk, whether it is skim, so to speak, low fat, or whole. Most broths are defatted, but that's not always the case, and this would be bone broth. Your cheeses will vary from something extremely lean, like mozzarella and feta, to your higher fat cheeses such as cheddar and blue. Then come the fish. So you have some farm-raised fish, and again, there's debate here. Is a farm-raised fish, what is it fed? Is it fed pellets? Unlike fish that may be out in the ocean actually feeding on the algae. So there's a lot of controversy here regarding what animal products are fed and then the quality of the fat, so to speak. So the colder water your fish are, the fattier they will be. Then you have things such as chicken. Chicken breasts will be the leanest. Actually, chicken thighs are still fairly lean, and most people do prefer the dark meat to something that is fattier when the skin is left on. Then your porks. Your loin is going to be lean as well as your tenderloin. And then it just depends on how much fat you have on the outside, or if it's a fattier cut such as the ribs. And then finally, you'll have your deli type meat. That will be much higher in sodium. However, generally, most of your meats are going to be somewhat leaner these days because you have to think, cows and pigs are definitely skinnier than they used to be. But then again, it just depends on the type of deli product, like bologna where something's added in. And also sausage really varies depending on how it was processed. And then finally, your ground meats. It just depends what % fat those are. And just one of the trivia type facts here. Oils are classified according to what they contain the most of. So you can see that these oils are all poly, mono, and saturated fats. Now, where some of the debate truly comes in with some of these oils is how the oil is extracted. There is definitely a push towards cold pressed versus oils that are produced by heating and extracting according to that method.
Now, for some people, when they're concerned about some of the ingredients that are in lightened up products, this is I have two versions of a ranch dressing here. And you can see that this one was made with plain yogurt and sour cream, along with plenty of spices, and it used buttermilk to thin. So this way, if you are trying to watch your fat content, a couple tablespoons of this will only have 2 grams of fat. So then you can use your fat elsewhere. Now this is a paleo dressing, so some people like to get their fat in their dressing, and this is 12 grams, so it'd be a couple fat servings, but this uses a combination of mayonnaise along with coconut milk. So if you are trying to get rid of some of those extra ingredients, which we really did not go over on the ranch label, this is the way to do it, is to try and make things from scratch. Because there are questions again of what is inflammatory to individual people, and we're still not sure about some of these often added ingredients. So it's encouraged to make everyone go back to as natural a form as possible, or as simplified a form as possible of all their foods. And this label is just to show you that often the regular forms of a product, such as the sour cream, just contain cultured cream, and the whole milk plain yogurt just contains cultured milk. So again, if you're trying to go back to less processed and less refined, you want to look at the ingredient list and try and find products that don't have some of the thickeners and other products added. So your to-do list. So what added fats do you typically eat in a day? Do you purposefully include monounsaturated fats in cooking or recipes? Because again, we're trying to balance that mono and poly ratio. And often if people just use some of the monounsaturated oils, that will balance out their ratio. Do you eat some leaner protein choices? If you're trying to watch fat, can you add just enough to find your middle ground? And do you have special needs or goals that would change your fat intake?